Hi friends, welcome back to Speak English Academy. I am Sarina Vesapa. In today's class, I am going to discuss Murder in the Cathedral, the famous drama of the 20th century by T.S. Eliot. You know that Murder in the Cathedral is a historical drama by T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot wrote this drama to make known to the history of England to the modern people of the 20th century. So, by this drama, he became very popular throughout the Europe. You know, Murder in the Cathedral is a famous historical play by T.S. Eliot. Eliot wrote this play or his play for an audience expected, or he had made an attempt to make note the historical story of Thomas Becket and the King Henry II. Murder in the Cathedral opens in the Archbishop's Hall on December 2nd, 1170. A chorus comprising women of Canterbury has gathered at the cathedral with some premonition. Premonition means precaution, indication of occurring bad thing, of a terrible event to come. In a long speech, they reflect on how their lives are defined by suffering and reflect on their Archbishop Thomas Becket. He has been in exile from England for 7 years after a terrible clash with King Henry II. The women worried that his return means the return of Thomas Becket could make their lives more difficult by angering the king. See, at the first or at the beginning of the play, the three priests enter the hall of the church and also lament Thomas's absence and debate on the ramification of his potential return. One of the characters, called Herald, arrives, bringing news that Thomas has indeed returned to England and will soon arrive in Canterbury. The herald crosses their hopes and Thomas's return, indicating reconciliation with Henry, and confesses his own concern that violence is soon follow the Archbishop's return. Once the heralds leave, the priests reflect on Thomas's time as Chancellor of England when he served as a secular minister under Henry II. The chorus, listening to the priests discuss the matter, confess their disappointment at his return, which they believe will bring them more suffering. They admit their lives they are hard but predictable, and they would rather perish in quiet than live through the turmoil of new political and spiritual upheaval. The see the first tempter, especially in Murder in the Cathedral, the tempters are very important things, very important characters in the drama. Most of the questions in the previous net and PhD entrance and also set question paper, some other high school teachers and other PGT, TGT teachers entrance examination or CET examinations asked on the tempters. The four tempters will come this in this drama: first, second, third, fourth. So these what the first tempter says, what the second tempter says. So such kind of questions were asked in the previous question papers. Now we have to look at these four tempters. What the four tempters say to Thomas Becket. See, the first tempter says here, the first tempter reminds Thomas of the libertine ways of his youth and attempts him to relinquish his responsibilities in favor of a more carefree life. The first tempter tempts Thomas Becket to leave his religious duty, religious responsibilities if he wanted to enjoy carefree life, entertainment. So this is the first tempter. What the second tempter says? The second tempter says or suggests Thomas reclaim the title of chancellor. You know, before Thomas Becket departing from England to Paris for 7 years, he was the chancellor of England in the hand of King Henry II. Since he could do more good for the poor through a powerful political post than he could as a religious figure. Here, second tempter suggests Thomas Becket, if he left his responsibilities relating to religion and if he would reclaim the title of chancellor under Henry King II, he could do more good things to the people than he would be as a religious personality. So this is the second tempter's words. The second tempter's words is the second tempter suggests Thomas Becket to reclaim the chancellor, to become chancellor of England again in the hand of King Henry II. But here he suggested Thomas Becket to stop his religious duties, religious rituals. It means he suggested to live religious life and came back to political life as a chancellor of England. Now we look at the third tempter, very important. Third tempter possesses a progressive form of government in which a ruler and barons work together as a coalition. What the third tempter possesses here, progresses here, tempts here. If the government means the ruler and the barons work together as a coalition, it should be better development in the country. In effect, he offers Thomas a chance to rule and break new ground in government. See, Thomas easily rejects all these three tempters. After all, they are forms of temptation that he has already rejected his life. Now we go to very important tempter, that is the last tempter, tempter fourth tempter. So many times a question was asked, what does the fourth tempter say to Thomas Becket? See, fourth tempter suggests the idea of martyrdom, which he notes would give Thomas the greatest domination over his enemies. He would be remembered throughout the ages if he allowed himself to die for the church, for religion, while his enemy would be judged and then forgotten by time. Thomas is shaken by this temptation since it is something he has entertained in his private moments. Here, he recognizes that to die for pride, which is the wrong reason, would compromise the integrity of a martyrdom, so he must overcome that impulse if his death is to have meaning. The total summary of this, the fourth tempter is he has to sacrifice his life for the religious cause. The fourth tempter suggests Thomas Becket the idea of martyrdom. If he had become martyrdom, the people would remember his name in the next coming days. But if he refuses the life of saint, the duty of religion, and become the political personality, the people would not remember him in the next coming days. He would be forgotten very soon. So this is the temptation of the fourth tempter. See, the second part, the first scene of the part second is set in the Archbishop's Hall. The first scene of Murder in the Cathedral is also set in Archbishop's Hall. The second part is also set there. Only the second part of the scene is set in Archbishop's Hall on December 29, 11, 17. A terrified chorus begins with an ominous address, after which four Boris knights enter. They insist they are there on Henry's business or order from France and demand an audience with Thomas despite attempt by the priests to distract them. So we have to think here in the first part of the play, Murder in the Cathedral, we give more importance to the four tempters. But in the second part of the drama or the play, we should give more importance to four knights. See, the first part begins in the Archbishop's Hall on the church on 2nd September 1170. In the same place, the second part of drama begins on 29th 11th 1170. See, Thomas arrives as it was announced in the initial. He is immediately insulted and chided by the knights for what they perceive as a disloyalty toward Henry and misuse of the Archbishop's position to incite position to England. Thomas denies their interpretation of event, but also reveals serenity and readiness to die when necessary. The knights attempt to attack on Thomas Becket but are interrupted by the priests. Here, priests try to save the life of Thomas Becket. A more specific political argument follows, during which Thomas continues to deny their claims and insults them as overly concerned with petty political matters. Angry, the knights threaten the priests with death if they let Becket escape, and then the knights live. The chorus plays very important role in Murder in the Cathedral. Yes, it was very necessary part in the classical plays of Greek. Chorus gives a brutal, evocative speech and Thomas comforts them. He acknowledges that by bearing necessary witness to the ritual of his death, their lives will grow more difficult, but he maintains that they can find comfort in recollection on having been here this fateful day. As the knights approach again, the priests beg Thomas to flee, means to escape from that place, but he refuses. Here, Thomas was not ready to become heir issue the political life. He was not ready to become chancellor again in the hand of King Henry II. But he was very much interested to issue the religious life. He was ready to become a martyrdom as he was tempted by the fourth tempter. The knights force him from the hall and into the cathedral against his protestations. As the scene changes, the women of the chorus steel themselves for the death soon to follow. Here, in the drama Murder in the Cathedral, the women of Canterbury also play a very vital role here. They also expected what would happen in the next. See, the priests bar the door, knock the door, which the knights then begin to besiege. Besiege means to attack. The priest's arguments do not convince Thomas, who accuses them of thinking too much of cause and effect rather than accepting God's plan. Finally, the priests open the door and the knights drunkenly enter. The four knights who came to murder Thomas Becket were totally in intoxicated mood. They drank. They demand Thomas lift all the excommunications he has put upon England rulers. He refuses and they murder him. This became a great history in England. Thomas is being murdered. The chorus gives a long, desperate address lamenting the life they will now have to lead in the shadow of Thomas's martyrdom. See, after the murder is done, the four knights address the audience directly. Why did they address? What was the reason? Every knight gave a different reason, different opinion about the murder of Thomas Becket on December 29, 1170 at Cathedral. See what the first knight says about the death of Thomas Becket. See, the first knight admits he has no facility for argument, so acts as an MC to introduce the other knight. Second, the second knight's words are very important in the play. You should remember his words. It may ask in the question paper. The second knight says he understands how the audience. The second knight. The second knight is very important in the play. His words are very important. You should remember his words. What he says about the murder of Thomas Becket. It may come in the question paper. The second knight says he understands how the audience and history will hate them, but begs the audience to realize the knights were disinterested. It means knights were not interested to murder Thomas Becket. But why did they murder him? They were merely following the orders that were necessary for the good of England. They merely followed the order of England, means England, a king of England, Henry II, for the welfare of England. They murder Thomas Becket. So these are the words of second knight. Third knight presents a long complex argument suggesting that Becket was guilty of betraying the England people and hence was killed justly. The third knight says that Thomas Becket betrayed, denied, no, betrayed, cheated the people of England. So it was very necessary his murder in that place, in that time. So that's why Thomas Becket was murdered justly. Fourth night suggests that Becket willed his own death by pursuing martyrdom for the sake of pride, and hence is guilty of suicide, making the knights not guilty of murder. Here, the fourth knight says here that Thomas Becket committed suicide because of his pride, but it was not murder of the knights. Here, the fourth knight says that the four knights did not play any role in the murder of Thomas Becket. The four knights are not guilty of murder of Thomas Becket. So this is about the summary of Murder in the Cathedral. I have said my experience, what I know about this drama. Friends, if you like this video, please share to other of your friends, comment on my video, and also give one like. If you haven't become subscribed to my channel, you do subscribe. You can find on YouTube also. I have made more than 150 videos very useful for educators. You can find in name of SBK English Academy on YouTube also. You will find more than 150 videos, some relating to grammar and literature, literary criticism, and all videos are there. Thank you for watching this video.